cops killed an 8-year-old child. That's the child. Let's put up a full picture, okay? I'm gonna give you some significant background to this story. They initially charged teenagers, kids, for this killing. So let me give you the update. Murder charges have now been withdrawn for 2 individuals accused of killing an 8-year-old girl at a Delaware County football stadium last summer. And instead, and this is what I said on day one, the cops have been charged with the murder. They are responsible for her death. The day I covered this, I said the police are the ones who should be arrested for her murder. Well, that has happened. Let's put up the pictures of the young people who are initially charged with this. Okay. Hasein Strand and AJ Ford were initially charged with the murder and the shooting death of Fanta Bility. That's the young lady near the entrance of the Academy Park High School football stadium on August 27th, 2021 in Sharon Hill. Okay, there was a shootout. 3 officers, let's put them up, were monitoring the game. And the Sharon Hill officers, Brian Devaney, Sean Dolan, and Devin Smith fired back. The bullets from the officer's service weapon were the ones that killed the child, Fanta Bility, and injured 3 others, could have killed more in the process, okay? Let's put up a picture of the young lady again, of the young child, okay? Here's why I'm doing this. Police officers are trained, are told, are instructed, and have a policy to not shoot indiscriminately into crowds or in crowded places. This is to make sure that they don't kill 8-year-old children. All right, they disregarded their training. Initially, everyone in the justice system tried to cover this up. They immediately charged others, even though you had 3 people who were wounded, you had a child dead. They came out initially and said, oh, no, these police officers, they were well within their rights and well within their authority to do exactly what they did. But people kept speaking up. You see, this is the power of you. This is the power of the people. Individuals in that community, media and other voices say, hell to the no. This is not right. These cops should be penalized, all right? The initial shots on Coach Street began with a verbal altercation at a football game between Angelo AJ Ford, 16 years of age, and Sharon Hill and Hasein Strand, that's 18 of Collingdale. Ford remains charged with serious crimes for his attempt in killing Strand, all right? So they're charged with the right crimes. Let me make this very clear. They went altercation. There was criminality with that altercation based on the accusation. They have been properly charged with what they did. What the DA tried to do is charge them also with the murder of the 9-year-old child. That's not gonna fly because the bullets inside of her came from the cops, not from them, all right? Strand on January 18th pleaded guilty to aggravated assault for his wounding of a child bystander during the gunfight and illegal possession of a firearm. By the terms of his plea, he will serve a term of incarceration of 32 to 64 months in a state correctional institute and will remain under court supervision. Each officer has been charged with 12 criminal counts of manslaughter and reckless endangerment. That's exactly what they should have been charged with on day one for their actions that night. While the DA maintains that Mr. Strand is responsible for instigating the incident that left the girl dead, his office has been directed to withdraw the murder charges filed against Ford and Strand, all right? This is not a pretty picture. There are no good guys versus bad guys, but there is an innocent life who's dead because individuals acted criminally. And you have an innocent child dead. Now the system wanted to make sure immunity was granted to the cops who acted in reckless endangerment. They wanted to give them immunity. No due process, you simply get a pass, you killed somebody and you injured 3 others with your gunfire by violating policy protocol, and you had a reckless disregard for life, but no problem, we're not going to charge you. Well, that doesn't fly. And now these cops are being properly charged as they should have been when it first happened. Trae, what are your thoughts here?
I mean, first of all, this is, horrible. I don't do well with stories like this generally because I got kids around this age, so it's just very sad. I guess the one thing that I thought about, and you alluded to this, I agree with you completely, is like, I do feel like not very many years ago at all, it would have been unthinkable that these cops would end up facing any sort of accountability. And now that seems to be happening. Like, I feel like just a few years back, if somebody told you, it's like, yes, there was some black teenagers got into an altercation, shots were fired. 3 nearby cops went full stormtrooper and just started spraying into the crowd, and they killed an 8-year-old girl. I think a few years ago, anyone who was paying attention would have been like, well, I know what's gonna happen there. Those teens are gonna go down for all that. And the cops will probably get commendations. That's right. They certainly won't get suspended or face any kind of repercussions at all. And the fact that that is not happening in this case, it seems like there's still, a possibility for justice, is, like you said, a testament to people not putting up with it anymore. Everything that's happened over the past few years, and the protests and the outrage, the justified outrage.
Yep.
So like you could see it actually having an impact, which at least that is good. But
That's right.
I mean, it's just a terrible, terrible situation.
It's an ugly situation. A lot of times in stories, we like clearly defined good guys and clearly defined bad guys. Well, sometimes you don't get those stories in life. Okay, I think the right charges have now been applied. I think there was an intentional cover up to make sure these cops had complete immunity, and the community spoke up along with others in the media and those who are advocates on the ground. They said, no way, these cops deserve a penalty as well, and that's exactly what has happened here.